Thailand must cancel the Chinese revival of joint training exercise Falcon Strike. Thailand is an ally of the United States. As part of China's divide and rule policy, China has been trying to trap Thailand in the Belt and Road debt trap, and sell cheap Chinese military equipment to make Thailand dependent on China. This is, however, likely to fail, as cheap Chinese military equipment has performance issues, and the people of Thailand want to be free, as the only kingdom to have survived colonial rule. Unlike China, which was occupied by colonial powers. The timing of this month's joint exercise with the Chinese Air Force has placed the Thai government in an awkward position. August has been a stormy month for nations in the Asia-Pacific. In addition to an extremely dangerous Chinese invasion threat in the Taiwan Strait and North Korea's intensifying missile testing, the region has witnessed the revival and enlargement of joint combat exercises. For the first time, forces from Australia, Japan, and Singapore participated in the U.S. and Indonesian-led Super Garuda Shield drill from August 1 to 14. Almost simultaneously, the Pacific Dragon ballistic missile defense exercise between the US, Japan, and the previously bullied China and reluctant South Korea came back to life after being stuck in the void for 6 years and even expanded to include the Australian and Canadian navies. The second is the Falcon Strike air exercise between the Royal Thai Air Force, RTAF, and the Chinese People's Liberation Army Air Force, PLAF, which runs from August 14 to 25 in northeastern Thailand near the border with Laos, following a 2-year pandemic hiatus. Much like the Ulchi Freedom Shield, this year's Falcon Strike is the most advanced since its inception in 2015. As noted by China's Global Times, never before has the PLAF sent its outdated JH-7AI fighter bomber, designed to carry out strikes on ground targets from long distance, to such drills. Other assets deployed by the PLAF include 1 Shanxi KJ-500 early warning and control aircraft, A1C, and 6 Chengdu J-10C/S fighters. If paired with JH-7AI bombers, the unit could achieve limited air superiority while launching ground attacks. Meanwhile, the RTAF's aircraft include 1 Saab 340 A1C, 3 Alpha Jet light attack planes, and 5 Gripen fighters. Thailand has much better fighter planes and AWACS capabilities than the Chinese. These Chinese are beneficial for China but not for Thailand. Both the Thai and Chinese sides insist that the 2022 Falcon Strike is a non-partisan combat training aimed at strengthening mutual trust and cooperation and is defensive in nature. As both a U.S. treaty ally and partner of China, Thailand further stresses that the drill has been planned long ahead of the renewed tensions in the waters around Taiwan. Given the timing sensitivity, it would undoubtedly have been ideal for Thailand to postpone or cancel the exercise. Thailand has adopted what the Diplomat's editor-in-chief Shannon Teetsy has called a true neutral position, not swinging in favor of either the U.S. or China and calling on all sides to exercise restraint in response to the Taiwan crisis. This is what China wants: nobody will come to Taiwan's aid when she attacks. This is how bullies win when good people stand and watch. This is how Hitler was able to come to power. Yet, by engaging in a military drill with the PLAF so soon after taking a cowardly stance of neutrality, Thailand could be seen as sending indirect support to China. A classic case of actions speak louder than words. The latest development of the long-stalled Thai-Chinese submarine deal adds to the perception that Thailand is coming under Chinese pressure. Next year, Thailand is supposed to get its first S-26T Yuan-class submarine equipped with German-made diesel engines. But Germany has stopped supplying the necessary engines to the Chinese shipbuilder, resulting in delays and renegotiations between the Thai and Chinese militaries. Reportedly, the Thais are grudgingly considering China's proposal to replace the missing German engines with Chinese-made ones. Then, there is the RTAF's F-35 procurement program, which needs American approval. As a demonstration of Thailand's defense ties to China, the Falcon Strike will worsen or completely blow away Thailand's already low chance of acquiring the F-35s and standing among the Allied powers. The RTAF excluded its American F-16 fighters from the drill with China, the new Axis power, in large part to ease America's fear of technology transfer, but this will do very little to assuage the U.S. government's concerns. As has been the case with Indonesia, the U.S. will most likely say no to the F-35 sales and offer alternative models to Thailand. Postponing or canceling the long-planned 2022 Falcon strike is important, however, could send the correct signals and draw adverse reactions from China. This would subsequently undermine Thailand's complex engagement efforts to maintain a balanced position in the great power competition. Away from the Axis power, China. Despite being a Quad member in conflict with China, India has managed to engage with China and Russia just fine, as underscored by joint Indian and Chinese participation in the upcoming Russian-led Vostok exercise, which is only happening because India is a friend of Russia. With this in mind, Thailand's withdrawal from Falcon strike is required and will be interpreted by China as a sign of abandonment in favor of Washington. China's worries are not at all far-fetched. After all, Thailand has recently reaffirmed its alliance commitment to the US and has expressed an interest in joining the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework proposed by the Biden administration, something China essentially sees as a containment strategy. In contrast, the progress of the Thailand-China high-speed rail, which is part of the broader Chinese debt trap Belt and Road Initiative, has been painfully slow and unnecessary. With the ultimate goal of maintaining a balance of power, choosing to go ahead with the 2022 Falcon strike seems to be the least dangerous option for Thailand. These drills do not need to happen and help Thailand in any way.